Now in this video we will be studying what is micturition. The act of passing out of urine out from the body, that is called as a micturition. So the process of release of urine is called as a micturition. So what are the steps? First of all, there will be a gradual filling of urinary bladder. You know that urine is produced where? In the nephron. Then from the collecting duct it enters into renal pelvis, and from there it is carried to ureter and then to urinary bladder. So what is the passage? First from the nephron, that is the last part, collecting duct, then into renal pelvis, and then into ureter, and the last is urinary bladder. So there is a gradual filling of the urinary bladder with the urine. So bladder serves to store the urine temporarily till a voluntary signal. Voluntary means in the kids it is not voluntary, but as the kid grows up it becomes voluntary. So voluntary signal is given to central nervous system, and as the urinary bladder fills it keeps on stretching. The stretch receptors are there on the walls of bladder, which sends the reflexes to the central nervous system by sensory nerve endings in the bladder. See, whatever the messages are passed to central nervous system, that is by the sensory nerve. So urinary bladder sends the reflexes to CNS by sensory nerve ending in the bladder. Now, as the urine collects, the muscular wall of the bladder distends so as to accommodate the urine, and later it sends the messages to the CNS by the sensory nerve. The act of expulsion of urine. Now we have to expel out the urine. So that occurs by that CNS gives the order to the smooth muscles of the urinary bladder to relax, and that is by the motor nerves. So contraction of smooth muscles of the bladder and simultaneous relaxation of urethral sphincter. There are relaxation of internal and external urethral sphincters. So bladder is contracting and urethral sphincters, they relax. So the process of release of urine out from the urethra is called as a micturition, and the neural mechanism which cause micturition, that is called as a micturition reflex. So the neural mechanism causing the micturition is called as a micturition reflex. So an adult excretes 1 to 1.5 liters of urine containing 25 to 30 gram of urea per day. Now what is urine? Urine is light yellow colored watery fluid which is slightly acidic, that's pH is near about 6, and has a characteristic odor. Why this odor is there? Due to the ammonia. So it's pale yellow. Why it is pale yellow? Due to the pigment urochrome. How this pigment urochrome is there in the urine? Which is produced by the breakdown of hemoglobin. When hemoglobin breaks up, the pigment urochrome is released, that gives a yellow color to the urine. Fine. And what is its pH? Its pH is near about 6. And urine contain 95% of water, and near about 25 to 30 gram of urea is excreted out per day. So 95% of water is there. Along with urea there may be a uric acid, salts, ammonia, and a traces of creatinine may be there. Okay, so unpleasant odor is when urine is allowed to stand, it gives a unpleasant odor of ammonia. Fine. Now, an urine is used for analyzing the various diseases. It helps in clinical diagnosis of many metabolic disorders as well as functioning of the kidney. Glucosuria. Glucosuria is the presence of glucose near a very 0.8 millimole of glucose may be present in urine. Excess of the glucose, if present in the urine, that is called as a glycosuria. And if ketone bodies are present in the urine, then it is called as a ketonuria. You know that if the amount of sugar is there more in the urine, then a disease is there which is called as diabetes mellitus. Fine. So the excess of the glucose in the urine or ketones in the urine are indicative of diabetes mellitus. If there may be a presence of protein, then it is called as a proteinuria. If blood, hematuria, or if pus is there, then it is called as a pyuria. So different type of disorders can be detected with the help of urine. There is a Benedict test for the urine glucose which is present in the urine. If it is blue, then no glucose. If it is green, then traces of glucose. Urine Benedict solution is added in the urine. Okay, so orange color gives the moderate amount of glucose, and large amount of glucose if present in the urine gives a red color. Now, role of other organs in the excretion. What is the role of lungs? It removes carbon dioxide from the lungs, and water is also removed out from the lungs. Fine. Near about 18 liter of carbon dioxide, 200 ml per minute. So 18 liter of carbon dioxide per hour and 400 ml of water per day are eliminated by the lungs. Liver. Liver secrete bile containing bilirubin, biliverdin, cholesterol, degraded steroid hormone, vitamins and drugs. So most of them pass out along with digestive wastes. So when I have already discussed that when hemoglobin is decomposed, it gives a bile pigment like bilirubin and biliverdin. These are bilirubin and biliverdin. So if these pigments are passed into alimentary canal, then they are eliminated in feces. So liver deaminates. Deaminates means breaks up the amino acid if it is present in excess. Liver deaminates the excess and unwanted amino acid, which producing ammonia, which is going to combine with carbon dioxide to form urea in a urea cycle. So I'll be repeating it, that liver breaks up the unwanted and excess of amino acid. They are broken down in liver, and as a result it produces ammonia. Ammonia combines with carbon dioxide to form urea. So I have already told you that urea is produced in the liver. Now in the skin there are sweat gland and sebaceous gland. You know very well that sweat contains water, sodium chloride, amount of urea, lactic acid, etc. The main function of sweat is to give cooling effect to the body. It maintains the temperature. It is a very good example of hemostasis for regulating the body temperature and give cooling effect to the body surface. Then sebaceous gland eliminates sterol, hydrocarbons and waxes through the sebum. and sebum provides a protective oily covering for the skin. So it is providing the oily covering to the skin. Which gland? Sebaceous gland. What does it secrete? It secretes sebum. Saliva eliminates small amount of nitrogenous waste. So saliva also eliminates along with that, if the medicines are being taken by the person, then heavy metals and drugs are also excreted in the saliva. So these are all the role of other organs in the excretion.